Yeah, so really this course comes out of the very beginning of it at Link Cafe. We've been doing this police support operation role within special operations with ambulance for many, many years, decades in fact. But with Link Cafe, it just gave us the impetus to really start looking at the way we do things. So as a result of my experience at the cafe, I went overseas, spent a couple of months working in the USA, UK, Canada, looked at the ways that all sorts of teams are doing this, and then brought all that information back. And then we've used that international best practice to really build up a capability for New South Wales Ambulance to make sure that if something like the Link Cafe happened, and even worse, like something along the lines of a complex coordinated terrorist attack, our worst case scenario, that we're completely prepared for that. So the capability is all about training people for a really bad day. We give them the micro skills, then we slowly grade them in to stress immersion until we get to the stage where we run a scenario like this where it's really, there's so much stimulus that they still have to try and replicate all those skills and save a police officer's life, but with all that extra stuff going on. So a lot of the things that we train on a mindset, giving people the tools to be able to effectively work in a high threat environment. So things like tactical breathing and being able to slow down their own physiological response and work more effectively in those environments. And we borrow a lot of stuff from the military and from other law enforcement roles to get those tools and make them effective for us.
So it's noisy in there, it's smoky, it's dark, and there's a lot of sensory stuff going on, isn't there?
Yeah, that's right. And that's deliberate to see how they incorporate those tools to make them be able to still use their clinical skills effectively.
And I imagine the other thing you're looking for here is leadership.
Absolutely.
That scenario.
Yeah, it's really important.
We've probably just seen a bit of an example of it now, but
Absolutely. So leadership and some of those other skills around crew resource management are really vital to the role of special operations paramedics. We do work in small teams, and we have to be able to effectively mitigate the environmental stresses so that we can still operate effectively. And a big part of that is communication and leadership. So the thing that separates us from the work of a normal paramedic is the hazardous environment. So we're absolutely just paramedics working in a specialist role, but in that specialist role we have to incorporate tools that we can use to try and mitigate stress, and that might be things like roping. So we use a harness and rope and devices to get ourselves safely to where we need to be, or in this environment, like in a tactical setting with police, it might be something like ballistic armour, so we can protect ourselves if things do go awry as well. So it's that hazard that really makes the special operations team have to train hard and have good equipment so that we can effectively get to a patient anywhere they are in the state of New South Wales.
Are you the elite?
Absolutely not. No, we're just paramedics, just working in a specialist role.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's not often that you get a chance to train for these situations, and it's vital and imperative to the mission outcome that we train like this.
So when you're in that room, the noise, the smoke and all the rest of it, how did you find that?
Oh, look, that's a little bit overwhelming, but that's why we're training, because we don't want to end up in these situations and really get flustered and overwhelmed. We need to train like this in the realistic circumstance so that we can look after our patients properly.
How hard did you find it to concentrate, though, with that environment around you?
Oh, look, it's tricky, but you do need to put the patient first and really look after them.
And so you're obviously seeking to be in the SOTs. What are you hoping on that front? I mean, it's
absolutely. This training has been amazing. Yeah, it's really good.
What is it about this being in the SOTs that attracts you?
It's being able to train like this and get into these exceptional circumstances, really put ourselves forward and push the boundaries on our treatment and our personal values,
So we can look at a hostage situation within a domestic violence incident where someone is kept in a property who may be injured at the time. It may be a remote or isolated area. If we look at some isolated communities, and my team can get all the way in with forward driving and with working closely with the police to do so.
And so in terms of who you take each time, there's a lot that apply. Not everyone gets in.
That's true. It is a very competitive process. It's a highly sought after position. We look for people who have at least 4 years experience within New South Wales Ambulance as paramedics, and we want someone who's got a little bit of initiative, who wants to do that little bit extra, and who's not afraid of working in an uncomfortable and arduous situation.
And they may be in situations where they need to be able to make decisions that protect themselves, not just who they're working on. Yeah?
Yes, and a great advantage of becoming a SOT paramedic is that when you're working on a normal ambulance, you also have that sense of leadership and of initiative and of looking out for others, and that's something we really drill into our team through the process.
And so what type of person applies for the
Yep, so we're looking for someone who's fit, who's very motivated, who wants to achieve things, who's not afraid of being uncomfortable, and who's able to think clinically quite quickly on their feet and very willing to learn new skills.
And it's true to say that because the bar is set quite high, it is too high for some people.
Yes, there is certainly there's a recruitment process, and some people aren't able to do that. But we welcome people to return and to continue trying. Certainly not attempting to exclude anyone. We're simply seeking to get the best possible outcome for our patients at all times.
And when they're out there, then they're in a vehicle, they're ready to respond to particular situations. They're operating normally as a paramedic,
yes,
but they're ready to go in a particular scenario like that.
Yes, particularly within the Sydney metro area, we have a number of what we call Special Operations Team responders. We're specially fitted out vehicles, and you'll see them going to things like to cliff rescues, to people who are trapped in lifts, to difficult access and extrication scenarios, and we use them regularly to help our normal paramedics get access in those difficult situations.
And I mentioned a terrorist scenario earlier. How important is it to have these guys, gals, ready for that kind of situation?
I believe it's critical. We have them equipped with some extra protection. They have the extra knowledge to provide that rapid intervention, and we're certainly working closely with our key agency partners to make sure we give the best outcome at all times.